being in the city can kind of be a little bit overstimulating sometimes. That's why we come out here and do this, is to kind of recharge, get your battery recharged.
In New York, getting a group of people and friends and know where to go. It was, once you get that, it is a lot more comfortable and easier to get out to nature. Surfing, I started in college. I had some friends who got me into it. Grew up in an area where it didn't really have surfing, but my family moved to the coast, and I spent a lot of the summers surfing and got into it in college. My background is in painting. I got into a lot of interior design and display oriented. So I do a lot of windows around New York City. With my work, it's like you have to know what the trends are and you have to know what other people are working on. And I'm inspired by everything, the busyness and the people and what's happening in New York City. But yes, I mean, you will take a downfall. It's like I'm not gonna be able to go home after work and go run in the woods, as I used to.
My relationship with nature has kind of changed since I moved to New York. I'm from Huntington Beach, California. I've been living in New York for about 3 years now. Being in the city can get kind of a claustrophobic feeling, so to come out here and be able to surf and just kind of focus on exactly what's in front of you for a couple hours is it's really kind of cleansing.
You did you just go all the way down?
Went a little bit further. It's really good, down by the rocks.
Yeah.
Being from California, they say you can surf and snowboard within the same day just because everything's so close. Driving in New York is a little bit less easy, so getting to these places where you can be out in the open is a little bit more difficult.
I'm still kind of a rookie in New York, so I'm still kind of discovering things out and finding places. So, even though I'm just like a weekend warrior getting out, I feel that I need to go get some kind of breathing room on the weekends, and whether it's the ocean or the mountains, just be in the water. It's a lifestyle. It's about just getting away, escaping for a short time.
I mean, we're kind of in my favorite spot to get in touch with nature. It's just coming out to the beach. It's kind of simple. It's the easiest place to get to. Sometimes there's a crowd, but if you can hit it on a day that there's no crowd, it's nice. I kind of see it as a little bit of meditation. I mean, I kind of think I do it just purely because it's fun, but I think there is something meditative about just having fun.
Okay, no, restart.
We're going to be in this space for another year, and after that we're going to have to find a new space. We're already looking for places, but it's going to be really hard to find a place this great. My name is Henry Sweets. I'm the co-owner and farmer here at North Brooklyn Farms. We started North Brooklyn Farms 5 years ago. It was a small garden on a vacant lot here in Williamsburg. We thought that urban farms could be used to create green space that would give people an opportunity to get engaged with nature in the city. The bike park charges a small fee of $5 or $10. to ride the track. They have bikes and helmets that you can rent if you want to ride it. The whole space works together really well and very cohesively, but we are separate entities. But over the years, we've learned how to work really well together. And a lot of the families in the neighborhood like having that active element here in the space. We open our farm up for volunteers to come in and pull weeds or harvest produce. So twice a week for 4 hours, we give people the opportunity to come out here and get involved. And in the process, we get a lot of our work done. So it actually works out really well for everybody. We then sell the produce in a farm stand on site, and we also use the produce in dinner parties that basically fund the entire project. We have a really wide variety of folks who come to volunteer on the farm. You know, everything from younger parents with young children all the way up to people in their 50s or 60s. We get people who come out here 2 or 3 times and then they don't come back. They came and they got what they needed. Other people become a part of the project and they come every week for years. There are certain times a year where a lot of people come out. There are other times, there are days where nobody shows up to volunteer. It really depends on the seasons and I guess everybody's mood. So I think that no matter how old you are, where you're from, that call to nature kind of runs across the whole spectrum.
I think in order to live a sane, healthy life in New York City, you need to know when to step out of it. You need to find ritual that allows you to connect to your beastly self, the most natural part of self. Womb Center is a multi-sensory yoga and meditation studio based primarily on the therapeutic and psychedelic properties of sound vibration, but we really use all of the senses to facilitate a deep connection to the inner landscape of ourselves. We have an immersive visual installation. We mostly display sacred geometry that is often audio responsive, so with the beat of the music, the visuals move. And we also show a lot of nature, drone footage that was shot especially for here. We also offer 1-hour sound experiences, sound meditations or sound journeys, diving into one particular instrument for a really long time, like the gong, and instruments that have been used for meditation for thousands of years by a variety of different cultures. The system was designed by an acoustics engineer to really give that enveloping sound experience that is almost tactile. When you don't really know what you had till it's gone. The sound of wind in the trees, the sound of birds chirping out of my window. I grew up in Israel, so I had that all the time. When I stepped out for the first time after moving to New York, I was like, oh, I really need that. So finding a practice that resonates, like a yoga practice or a meditation practice, and getting in touch with the inner landscape, because if we close our eyes and we really dive deep, we can be anywhere we want. Time and space no longer is an issue, but it takes a little bit of effort to kind of harness that part of self, but it is possible. And I think visual projectors also can do the trick. This place is a healing place, for sure. None of us are healers. We really don't use that word in relation to ourselves. We are here to hold space for everyone to get in touch with the healing energy that resides within each and every one of us. Sometimes in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, especially in New York City, it's a little hard, a little more difficult to connect to that energy, but we all have access if we take a moment to still listen and connect. We are able to reach that space.
It's a very delicate situation to come into a community that's not yours to teach the parents like I did. So that's why we focus like a laser beam on the children here. Harlem Grown is a very small nonprofit with a very big mission. Our mission is to inspire youth to live a more sustainable, healthy lifestyle through hands-on education, urban farming, and a heavy dose of mentoring.
This was empty for 42 years, I'm sorry. 42 years it was just this.
I don't live in Harlem, I live in Riverdale in the Bronx. I kept reading about schools in underserved communities like Harlem, the Bronx, Brooklyn, saying that we're in the richest city in the country, how could schools be that bad? So one day, for selfish reasons, I had to get off the couch in my house. The 2 and 3 train stopped right here on the corner, and I got out, and there's a school right here. And said, I'm here to see the principal. He came out, yes sir, how can I help you? I said, I'm here to help. This is the compost project. We get the community to drop off compost.
So you saw where we were, and this is where we're going. This is the future.
So I'm working in the lunchroom, and that's when the whole situation started coming into focus. I'm talking to a little girl in kindergarten. She's 6 years old, and she's telling me that tomatoes grow in the supermarket. I started laughing. She started crying. She thought I was making fun of her. I asked other children around, different ages, about food. They can't identify food. They can tell you a tomato. They can tell you carrots, maybe broccoli. Everything else is salad. And guess what? They don't eat salad.
I wish I could take you into the school right now today. I say, hey guys, look at what we got today. Taste this. They don't even ask you what it is. Pop it right in their mouth.
How do I have half the kids here living in homelessness, and then in a 3-block radius, 54 fast food restaurants, 29 pharmacies, and not one affordable food option when 98% of your families are surviving on the government subsidy for food? This space was an abandoned community garden. It was garbage everywhere. Every day after school, 2:20, the bell rings, the kids come over and they help me. So 6 weeks later, we cleared this whole area. We made a ceremony. Every child came out and planted something. Something happens in that moment. You see this child take so much pride in that one plant. When the plant started to leaf, you saw the children nibbling it, tasting it. And that's when Harlem Grown started. Because now we have a formula.
If they plant it, they eat it. If they eat it, they like it.
I myself learned so much teaching these children. 4 years ago, I went vegan. So I am an example of what I'm trying to teach. But we really don't teach, we just show. We're there on the ground with these kids where they live. People who are successful, it's not an accident that you're successful. You've been surrounded by success your whole life. So you have that example of what to strive for. The problem here is generational poverty. Food alone doesn't solve that.